Have you ever felt like your energy just isn't what it used to be? Like you're eating relatively well. You're not skipping any sleep. And you might even get some steps in every day. But deep down, there's this subtle fatigue, a feeling like something inside you is quietly draining, and like you can't quite explain why. Right? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Trust me, I've seen this in countless men over the past 20 years of practice. Men who aren't sick, I mean not in the traditional sense. But something's changed. Right. Like their spark feels dimmed. Their recovery feels slower. And when I dig a little deeper, I often find the same pattern hiding in plain sight. It's in their most private habits. Let me start by telling you about Dennis Holloway, an old patient of mine. He's 68, a retired truck driver from Wichita, Kansas. He walked into my clinic not with a complaint, but with a question. I vividly remember he told me, "Doc, I don't know what's going on. I just feel off and tired all the time. Even after I pleasure myself, it's like I'm more drained than ever before." We ran the usual labs, but nothing dramatic has ever been found. His heart was fine. Hormones were aging, right, but nothing out of the ordinary. And that's when I asked him something most doctors don't. I asked him, "How do you actually feel after you masturbate? Refreshed? Numb? Irritated?" Now he looked surprised, then shrugged. He said, "Just nothing. I do it. It's over. And then I feel kind of flat. Not better. Not worse. It's just off." That was the turning point. Dennis had been repeating the same habit, same technique, same rhythm, even the same mindset for over 40 years, yes. 40 years. And you did not hear me wrong. After 40 years, his body had changed so much. Like his nervous system had changed. And most importantly, his relationship with pleasure had changed, but he hadn't updated his approach. So what I did was I gently walked him through what I'm about to share with you now. And within a few weeks, he came back looking noticeably different. More color in his skin. More strength in his voice. He said, "Doc, I didn't know it could feel that good again. I feel like my body started trusting me again." So today, I want to share with you exactly what I shared with Dennis. Because one of the biggest mistakes I see in men over 60 is this. They treat self-pleasure like it's something to get over with, instead of something to connect through. They rush, they repeat, and they zone out. Then they wonder why they feel drained instead of fulfilled. All right, so the science backs this up. When your body is stuck in fight or flight patterns, like fast mechanical stimulation, your nervous system responds with tension, not release. But when you slow down, when you breathe deeply, engage your senses, shift your focus from just performance to presence, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and restore mode that calms inflammation, balances your hormones, and improves long-term vitality. Okay, it's not about taking longer. It's all about tuning in. It's about noticing the difference between stimulation and sensation. Another thing Dennis had been doing? Using the exact same grip and technique every single time. In fact, it's one of the most silent habits that drains pleasure without men realizing it. The same stimulation over and over wires your brain to expect only that one pathway to feel good. So anything different, even with a partner, starts to feel dull or unresponsive. Not because your desire is gone, but because your nervous system has been conditioned to one narrow way of feeling. And just like with Dennis, once that pattern is broken, once you reintroduce variety, curiosity, and attention, your body starts responding again. Right? Not like it did at 30, but like it's awake again, present, capable, and trusting. This isn't about novelty for novelty's sake. It's not about using fancy gadgets or extreme techniques. It's about meeting your body where it is, today, and realizing that your pleasure can still grow, mature, and deepen with age. Because the truth is, your sexuality doesn't die with age. It evolves if you allow it to. And it all begins with awareness. That's where we'll stop for today. But in the next part of this conversation, I'll take you deeper into the specific habits that may be holding you back and show you how exactly to shift them with respect, clarity, and care. Let's keep going. Because the more I speak with men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, the more I realize this. Most of them aren't struggling with low testosterone or any real medical issue at all. They're struggling with disconnection from their own bodies, from their pleasure, and from the idea that they still deserve to feel good, fully, completely, and without shame. And much of that disconnection comes from small, silent habits that were never questioned and never updated. Let's look at mistake number 2, using the same grip and technique every time. Now, I get it. Routines feel safe, right? They're predictable. And after years of doing things a certain way, your body learns that pattern. But here's what no one tells you. Your nervous system is plastic, meaning it adapts. If you stimulate your body the exact same way, with the same grip, same hand, same pressure, same motion, your brain starts tuning it out. It's called sensory adaptation. Your pleasure doesn't disappear. It simply gets bored. And over time, this one habit can lead to a loss of sensitivity, difficulty climaxing. It's a feeling of numbness or frustration, and even trouble connecting with a partner during intimacy. It's not that your desire is gone. It's that your body has forgotten how to respond to anything else. But the good news? You can reawaken it. So how? Start by doing just one thing differently. Switch hands, change the pressure, and try a slower rhythm. Introduce mindful breathing. Even pausing during the act to feel the absence of touch can wake up dormant nerve pathways. This isn't about tricks. It's about neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize and rebuild pleasure maps, even in your 70s and beyond. A 2020 study from the Center for Sexual Health Promotion at Indiana University found that men over 60 who actively explored new forms of self-touch and partnered intimacy reported significantly higher levels of arousal, satisfaction, and emotional connection than those who stuck to familiar routines. So no, it's not too late to change. In fact, this might be the perfect time for you. Your body isn't asking for fireworks. It's asking for presence, for variety, and for the permission to feel something new. Okay, so now I will tell you the mistake. This is an important one. Mistake number 3, ignoring the rest of your body. Here's another pattern I see constantly in older men. They treat self-pleasure like a single-point event. One body part, one goal, done. But the truth is, your body was never meant to work that way. And even now, even after 60, your skin is filled with thousands of nerve endings. Many of them have been ignored for decades. The inner thighs, the lower belly, the chest, the neck, even the soles of your feet or your scalp. All of these areas can support arousal and connection if you give them attention. One of the most overlooked areas for men is the perineum, the soft space between the genitals and anus. Gentle pressure there can stimulate deep pelvic nerves, reduce internal tension, and increase pleasure across the entire region. I once had a patient, a retired firefighter, 72, who came in saying he felt numb down there. He assumed it was just age, but after learning to bring gentle massage and awareness to other areas of his body, he came back 2 weeks later and told me, "Doc, I didn't even realize how asleep I had become. It's like something turned back on." So this is what happens when you stop treating pleasure like a button and start treating it like a conversation with your body. And the science supports this. A 2023 study from Johns Hopkins University found that older adults who regularly engaged in multisensory stimulation, including self-touch, breath work, and gentle movement, reported lower levels of anxiety, better sleep, and stronger feelings of emotional vitality. Okay, and all of that contributes directly to your sexual confidence and energy. So here's the truth. If you're only focused on one area, you're missing 80% of what your body still has to offer. And that 80%, it's still alive, still reachable, still waiting. Mistake number 4, skipping lubrication. This one's so simple, yet so common. As men age, natural skin moisture declines. The skin becomes thinner. The tissues lose elasticity. And even mild friction, the kind that felt fine at 30, can now cause microscopic damage. But many men continue to masturbate without any lubrication, out of habit, or pride, or simply not realizing how much it could help. Here's the reality. Lubrication isn't about making things slippery. It's about reducing friction, increasing comfort, and enhancing sensitivity. It mimics the glide of natural intimacy. It allows for smoother movement, and it brings you back into a state of ease, which is where true pleasure lives. If you've ever felt like your pleasure has dulled, if you've ever felt sore or underwhelmed afterward, try using a body-safe lubricant, ideally something water-based or silicone-based, without harsh chemicals. It might seem like a small change, but for many of my patients, it's been the key to restoring sensation they thought they had lost for good. Gentle truth to end on. So let's review. 3 common mistakes that quietly drain pleasure and increase frustration as you age. Repeating the same grip and technique until your body goes numb. Ignoring the rest of your body and missing out on a world of sensation. Skipping lubrication and making the experience harder on yourself than it needs to be. These aren't signs of failure. They're signs of a body that's asking for change. And you have the power, right now, to respond with care, curiosity, and wisdom. Because the truth is, you're not too old. You're just entering a new chapter. And with just a few small shifts, you can reawaken pleasure, rebuild confidence, and feel more connected than you have in years. In the next part, we're going to explore something even more important: the emotional and psychological blocks that prevent many men from truly enjoying their own bodies, guilt, shame, secrecy, and how to finally let them go. But for now, I'll leave you with this. You haven't run out of time. You've simply run out of habits that work. And the good news is, you can build new ones starting today. Let's go deeper. Because at this stage, the obstacles holding you back may not be physical at all. They live in the mind. They live in the stories you were told as a boy, and still carry today as a man in your 60s or 70s. Mistake number 5, feeling shame or guilt about the act. Most men over 60 were raised in an environment where sexuality was silent. You didn't talk about it. You didn't ask questions. And you certainly didn't view self-pleasure as something healthy, necessary, or even allowed. Maybe it was religion. Maybe it was culture. Maybe it was just silence. But that silence turned into shame. So even now, even when you know better, there's still a quiet voice inside that says, don't. It's wrong. It's selfish. It's something to hide. And that's what breaks my heart. Because I've seen men who feel more guilty after a private moment of release than they do after years of self-neglect. But here's the truth. There is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to feel good in your own skin. In fact, when approached with awareness, self-pleasure becomes a form of healing. It helps you reconnect with your breath, your body, and your emotional world. Studies from the University of Michigan have shown that regular, intentional self-touch in older adults is linked to better sleep, reduced anxiety, and improved cardiovascular health. Not because of the orgasm itself, but because of the emotional safety it creates. When you give yourself permission to experience comfort, your entire nervous system begins to relax. And that's where healing begins. You don't need to rush. You don't need to explain. You simply need to remember, you are not doing anything wrong. You are caring for yourself, and there is nothing more masculine than that. Mistake number 6, ignoring tools and enhancements designed for older men. This one comes up a lot, and I get it, there's pride involved. Most men think, I don't need anything fancy. I've been doing this my whole life. And that's fair. But here's the question I ask them. Would you still try to run with the same knees you had at 25, without supportive shoes, without stretching, without adapting? Of course not. So why approach your most intimate experience with outdated methods that no longer support your current body? The truth is, there are tools specifically designed for men over 60, tools that enhance comfort, sensitivity, and ease. For example, soft silicone sleeves that mimic natural skin, warming lubricants that increase blood flow, ergonomic massagers that relieve pelvic tension, or even simple hand supports for men with arthritis. These tools don't replace your touch. They enhance it. They make it easier, more enjoyable, and more aligned with your needs today. I had one patient, Robert, 68, who told me he hadn't felt anything meaningful down there in years. But after trying a soft, warming sleeve for just a week, he said, "Doc, I actually felt present again. I wasn't rushing. I wasn't worried. I was just there." That's what these tools offer: presence, support, permission to feel more, not less. And if you're still holding on to pride, ask yourself this: do you wear glasses? Use orthotics? Sleep on a good pillow? Of course, because they help. These enhancements are no different. They don't mean you're broken. They mean you're smart enough to evolve with your body instead of working against it. Mistake number 7: believing that disconnection is just part of aging. This might be the most dangerous belief of all. The idea that it's normal to stop feeling, to lose sensation, to disconnect from pleasure after a certain age. And yes, the body changes. Circulation slows. Nerve endings dull. Hormones shift. But none of that means your pleasure has to vanish. It simply means your approach has to change. You need to slow down. Breathe deeper. Explore differently. Use tools that support you. Release guilt that holds you back. And most importantly, stay in conversation with your body. Because here's the truth I've seen over and over again in my work. A man who feels connected to his body, even in his 70s, walks differently. He sleeps better. He looks people in the eye. He holds his head higher. Because that connection, that quiet intimacy with yourself, is what keeps you alive. And you deserve that. You don't need permission from anyone. You don't need to compare yourself to who you were at 30. You just need to show up, here, now, with curiosity and care. Conclusion: a new chapter starts now. So let's review. The 3 mistakes we've explored today, shame, neglecting tools, and surrendering to disconnection, are not your fault. But they are your opportunity. You now have the chance to build something better. A relationship with your body that's rooted in respect, in comfort, and in joy. That may start with one small change. A different technique. A moment of eye contact with yourself in the mirror. A new product that makes the experience easier. Or simply this: sitting quietly and saying to your body, "I'm still here. I still care." Because you are. And you do. And as long as that's true, there's still more to feel. More to explore. More to become. In the next and final part of this series, we'll bring everything full circle. And I'll guide you through a step-by-step way to rebuild your connection with your body and create a self-pleasure practice that truly supports your health, your heart, and your spirit. But for now, take a breath. You've already begun the journey. You've come a long way already. You've learned to recognize the habits that hold you back, the myths, the shame, the routines that numb you. Now it's time to move forward, to rebuild, to reconnect. Here's a simple, step-by-step approach you can start today. No pressure, no judgment. Just care. Step 1. Slow down and breathe before you begin. Take a moment. Close your eyes. Place a hand gently on your chest or belly. Take 3 deep breaths. Feel the air moving in and out. This simple practice helps you arrive fully in your body. It's the foundation of presence, the most powerful tool you have. Step 2. Explore with curiosity. Try changing something small. Use your non-dominant hand. Vary the pressure. Include other parts of your body, your inner thighs, your chest, your neck. Notice what feels good. Notice what surprises you. There's no right way here. There's only what feels true to you. Step 3. Use supportive tools if you haven't already. Consider adding lubrication or a gentle massager. These aren't luxuries. They're tools of self-respect. They help your body feel cared for, not worked against. Experiment with different products and find what feels easiest and most comfortable. Step 4. Release guilt and shame. Remember, feeling pleasure is not selfish. It's essential. When old stories of shame arise, pause. Recognize them. Then gently remind yourself, you deserve this. You deserve connection. You deserve joy. Step 5. Make it your time. Create a routine that feels right for you. It could be once a day, once a week, or whenever you need. Protect this time as you would any important appointment. This is your moment to reconnect, recharge, and celebrate your body. Remember, this is a journey, not a race. Some days will feel easier than others. That's okay. What matters is showing up for yourself consistently. Over time, you'll find your rhythm. Your confidence will grow, and the connection you rebuild will ripple into every part of your life. I want to leave you with this truth. Your sexuality, your pleasure, and your vitality don't disappear with age. They simply change form. And when you meet them with kindness and curiosity, they can flourish like never before. Thank you for taking this time with me. If this series has helped you, please like, share, and subscribe so we can keep supporting you on this journey. And I'd love to hear from you. Share one thing you've learned or one step you're going to try next in the comments below. Here's to living fully, loving yourself fiercely, and embracing every moment on your terms.